I get the great pleasure of introducing the recipient of our 2024 Mintonette Medallion of Merit Award winner. Our story goes back to the 1980s. Met John when I first went into the Air Force. He was running a volleyball clinic, if you can imagine that, at the University of New Mexico, and had a chance to go with my beach partner, who was a captain in the Air Force, and we wanted to start playing doubles. We had been playing indoor, and John was running a little clinic on playing doubles volleyball. And that was my first interaction with him, and could just kind of tell that there was something special about this guy. I finished up my service in the Air Force, played in the Lobo League there at the University of New Mexico, and had a chance to kind of watch him as he was certainly on his way up with our sport. Circled back to him in the late 90s when I started a juniors volleyball club, and I thought it would be great if I had a letter to show to all of my parents that we had some level of support from USA Volleyball. And so I reached out to John and asked him if he would write a letter, a welcome letter, and he said, sure, absolutely, be glad to do that. And so I still have a copy of that, by the way. We presented it to all of our volleyball parents. John has continued to give back to this sport. The number of years is immeasurable. The number of people that he has impacted is immeasurable. He'll probably tell you the number of countries he's been to. It's really a remarkable number. I've had a chance to visit his new endeavor in life and his new kind of his hobby with his wife Lily, the Bison Peak Lodge, and it's such a joy and a pleasure to go there and spend time with them. But when it was time to work on our 2024 award winner list for this particular award, John's name rose to the top. There was unanimous support from our board of directors. He has some very big titles. He's been sport director. He's been on the World Pair Volley Board. He's been in the jury box at many Paralympic Games. He was recognized as one of the 50 most influential people in the first 100 years of our sport back in 1995. He will go above and beyond anytime he's asked and always gives back. So I'd like to welcome to the stage this year's recipient of the 2024 Mintonette Medallion of Merit, John Kessel.
Thanks. Yeah, we're nearing almost 100 countries. I'm going to Bangkok after this, and that's because of the 50-plus years that I've been coaching volleyball. 35 of them have been with the FIVB as an international instructor. And the things you get to steal from other countries and bring back to share with other people here is part of this special thing. You know, there's a great smart guy named John Kiersey who said, you can count all the seeds in an apple, but you can't count all the apples in the seed. And, you know, when I think of the stuff that all of you are doing, from George to Steve, Cecile, the board, recognizing the people that have done some great things on the stand, off the stand, and everything, it's a great honor to be up here, quite honestly. I started coaching collegiately in 1971. My dad played volleyball in the 40s and the 50s after World War II, so I was sort of playing doubles on the side, watching him play. And when I went to Colorado College, I said, okay, we need a women's team, so I started the women's team. and we had a men's team. And to be up here now, 55 years later, and 50 states of coaching and nearly 100 countries that I've been to, it just, it's just an amazing thing that I wouldn't have thought unless maybe I was on LSD back in the 70s. I don't know. But I chose to go to the 99%. I mean, you've got some people up here are in the elite, but those that are there are brought up by the pipeline, by the people that love the sport, the billion that Mr. Mayor spoke about that love our sport. And to work with those people means that Russ Rose is a millionaire, and Terry Pettit is rich and millionaire. John Cook is doing amazing. And I worked at USA Volleyball and never got more than 5 figures. Actually, the highest was about $80,000 a year, because it's an amazing nonprofit. And I urge you to come to USA Volleyball because there is a Jim Coleman library, one of the Hall of Fame inductees. And that Jim Coleman library has everything about our sport from 1895 to now. And Bill Kaufman worked on it as one of the people that did so many things to make that happen. But I'd like you to go out after this course together and do a few things. One, I challenge you to coach the sport, but never be a child's last coach. That's the sign. If you go 0 and 30 and you have every kid come back, you're a great coach. If you go 30 and 0 and half your kids quit the sport, I think you need to look at how you're coaching kids. At the same time, our sport can be played co-ed. I don't know how many relationships have started and marriages have started from a co-ed game, either with a person on your court or across the net, and you say, oh, that's a really cute lady over there. And they end up getting married. It can be played in the mud. It can be played 9-man. It can be a Philippine elbow volleyball. They can do foot volleyball. All these things that our sport has evolved to be great. And at the same time, the Hall of Fame is doing that great work to make that come to life. I also urge you to, it's a Chinese proverb, winning and losing are temporary. Friendships last forever. You see that here. But at the same time, we seem to be so confrontational these days in a way that we have to, I think, get back to what volleyball can give. A non-contact, oh, that's a good thing. A non-contact sport that lets winning and losing be that temporary thing. Because some of you probably don't know that in 1984, a gal named Long Ping won the gold medal, defeated us soundly. Our women's team took the silver in the Olympics in Los Angeles. When that happened, 4 months after that happened, she was incredibly famous because that was China's first Olympics they'd ever been to, and it was the team sport, and they beat the USA for gold. But 4 months after that, she was living in my house, learning English, learning how we do volleyball, and sharing ideas back and forth. So I hope that we work with that kind of principle, as well as finally, I'd like to thank my wife Lily. Steve spoke about our veteran first responder healing retreat, bisonpeaklodge.org. You can see some amazing things that we've been doing with the Wounded Warrior Project and with Project Healing Waters and stuff that is not volleyball, but it's still really important because of the service of first responders and veterans for us. And I'm going to close with a recommendation that you go Google my son's thesis. He was a history major at Princeton. He's now in his 10th year playing pro volleyball over in Europe. But he wrote arguably the best history from 1895 to 1947 about our sport. None of you knew, I don't think, that James Naismith, basketball dude, and William G. Morgan, those two played on the same football team together. He found that out because he wrote this a thesis that his thesis advisor says it should be in the New Yorker about our sport at a time that the FIVB didn't exist. All this international stuff wasn't happening. So if you just type Cody Kessel, thesis, volleyball gentleman's game or something like that, it'll be a free PDF and you can download it and learn all about why this sport was first called Mintonette. And I'll let that stand as a secret until you read about it. So thank you very much to everybody. And here's a ball for somebody.